Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand, coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Federal Bank Primetime Studios. I'm Anand Narasimhan, and we will focus on the Prime Minister's spiritual sojourn to Kanyakumari. First up, ladies and gentlemen, PM Narendra Modi is at the Swami Vivekananda Rock Memorial in Kanyakumari. He'll be spending a total of 45 hours till about 3 p.m. on the 1st of June before departing for Thiruvananthapuram and then towards Delhi shortly after 4 p.m. on the 1st itself. After a grueling schedule that saw him address 206 public gatherings through the 7 phases of polling, with the last one in Hoshiarpur earlier in the day on Thursday, PM Narendra Modi reached Kanyakumari shortly after 5 p.m. After a short break at the guest house, he paid his respects at the Bhagwati Amman temple, that is one of the 51 Shakti Peethas in the country, the temple of Parvati as a Kanya, who prayed on that very rock to Bhagwan Shiv. Post the puja and darshan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to the Rock Memorial where he will be stationed until the 1st of June. He paid his respects not just to Swami Vivekananda but also Swami Vivekananda's Guru, Ramakrishna Paramhans, who's present there. The PM plans to be left undisturbed in deep meditation over the next 40-odd hours. Many within the opposition have questioned the PM's choice, timing and motive behind this spiritual sojourn. On The Right Stand, we endeavour to present the right perspective beyond the politics, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, Narendra Damodar Das Modi shares his first name with his ideological inspiration, Narendranath Dutt or Swami Vivekananda. It is here in 1892 on this very rock that Narendranath Dutt, after travelling all across Bharat, swam the 500-meter distance from the shore to this rock and then spent 3 nights in deep meditation. He emerged an enlightened Swami Vivekananda. It is on this rock that Swami Vivekananda envisioned Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. Yes, Prime Minister's idiom is inspired by Swami Vivekananda's outline of One India. Many believe Swamiji's time here and his tapasya formed the bedrock for the historic speech at the Parliament of World Religions in Chicago in 1893. So it doesn't come as a surprise that Narendra Modi, who espouses Swami Vivekananda's teachings, would choose this venue on the cusp of electoral history, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't stop there. There is another recent connection, the connection PM Modi shares with RSS ideologue and stalwart, the late Eknath Ranadeji. Former General Secretary of the RSS and once known as the underground Sarsangachalak during the days of the RSS banned by Sardar Patel. Eknath Ranade, along with Prabhakar Balwantani and Madhukar Dattatreya Devras, is credited with drafting the RSS constitution and ensuring that the ban on the Sangh was revoked. One of the early members of the RSS, Eknath Ranade, joined the Sangh in 1926, shortly after its inception in 1925 by K.B. Hedgewar. Eknath Ranade was deeply influenced by Swami Vivekananda's teachings. He was the one who is credited as the driving force behind the construction of this rock memorial in the name of Swami Vivekananda, which he thought of in the year of Swami Vivekananda's birth centenary year in 1962. There was strong resistance from the Congress too. From 62 to 70, he fought off stern opposition by local Catholic fishermen who had installed a cross at that rock, and also prevailed over the likes of former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Bhaktavatsalam and also Union Culture Affairs Minister under the Congress government, Humayun Kabir, whose nephew was the Supreme Court Chief Justice in Altamas Kabir. As PM Modi said in 2014, during Eknath Ranade's centenary year, it was because of Eknathji's Jan Bhagidari efforts that the Rock Memorial took shape. It was his vision, one man, one nation, one mission, and that was to mold the youth of Bharat under the vision and of course wisdom of Swami Vivekananda. Jan Bhagidari, another term PM Modi uses liberally, is again a thought continuum from Swami Vivekananda to the RSS. Lal Krishna Advani was the Delhi in charge of the committee formed to enable the construction of the Rock Memorial. So another connection. Eknath Ranade founded the Vivekananda Kendra in Kanyakumari and took it pan-India. Its Omkara has inspired achievers who are spread across the spectrum today. Modi himself was an ardent admirer of Eknath Ranadeji. The Ekta Yatra in 1991 started from here. PM Modi was present then as a Karyakarta behind Murli Manohar Joshi, and they took a parikrama of Swami Vivekananda's statue before embarking on that Ekta Yatra. And let's not forget the involvement of the Ramakrishna Mission in Kolkata in the Rock Memorial itself and their service to the upkeep and of course the cause of pushing forth the teachings of Ramakrishna Paramhans and Swami Vivekananda. The Kolkata to Kanyakumari connect is also evident. The 10 seats in Bengal that go to the ballot, the BJP lost out by 5% vote share or lesser in 2019 in quite a few of these. They will be keen to make amends and return a good score. Didi's admonition versus Modi's adulation in Kolkata of the Ramakrishna Mission, of the BSS, of the ISKCON, plus the optics of Kanyakumari is bound to have an impact. So not just steeped in spirituality, there is also the commitment to the philosophy of Swami Vivekananda and the ideology of the RSS, underlining his commitments and staying true to his roots and his origins, politically, philosophically, ideologically. One that proudly flaunts an unwavering nationalist, patriotic commitment to Ma Bharati, the vision of one India that is strong, prosperous, developed and steeped in inclusive Hindutva. As the ballot is cast, PM Modi just reiterating his commitment to the nation to keep walking on the path that brings glory to Bharat, the vision of a Viksit Bharat. Does that also imply electoral gain and a subtle reminder to the voter in the final phase? Why do you think the opposition is chomping at the bit? Let's dive into the debate, ladies and gentlemen. Shahzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP with us, Kamru Chaudhary, political analyst with us, Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, political commentator with us, and Javed Ansari, senior journalist with us. Namaste and Jai Hind, everybody. Thank you very, very much. So the Congress opposed the Vivekananda Rock Memorial too, if we dive into history, Kamruddin Chaudhary. And it was Humayun Kabir from Bengal who was opposed to it as the Cultural Affairs Minister.
No, Anand, why are you twisting the debate of tonight into making it into a a Vivekananda versus the Congress, or the Rock Memorial versus the Congress and its ideologies? It's nothing of that sort. You know, when Vivekananda ji spoke about a lot of things about Hindu-Muslim unity, about propagating Hindu religion in Chicago, and all those famous things we are all proud of as a nation, as an Indian. There is no denying the fact. But the debate tonight is not of Vivekananda or the Rock Memorial. It's about the surrogate campaigning that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the star campaigner of Bharatiya Janata Party, who always is on a 24/7, 365 days campaign mode. Today evening, the campaigning has ended for the parliamentary election of 2024. Like in 2019, when the Prime Minister went on a ekantavaas in the Himalayas, we all know what happened. The cameras followed. Here also you can see already ANI has tweeted visuals of Narendra Modi ji landing in the memorial to do his meditation. It's good. Let him do. Let him meditate on what he thinks is good for him, for his spirituality. There is no denying this fact. But why are 50, 60 cameras following him, Anand? Can you answer this question,
because
please?
he's Prime Minister Narendra Damodar Das Modi.
No, I am very
sorry. He's the biggest influencer.
No.
The answer lies in the question itself. He's the biggest influencer. Wherever
Don't
he goes, the rest of the world is following, sir. Whichever destination that he has gone ahead and highlighted has become a hotspot. Its economy has burgeoned. Its people have seen prosperity. You take whichever place the Prime Minister has gone. The other point is, sir, you yourself are crediting him of him being committed to the cause as a karyakarta. Now, you can't take the play. And I have only delineated what history also says. There is a thought continuum. There is a reason Swami Vivekananda is not that he is thought of him today. It's a thought continuum of the RSS. It's a thought continuum of Narendra Damodar Das Modi from the 70s itself, sir. In fact, even before that. So he has always espoused this. So it's nothing new.
Anand,
it's nothing new that what he is doing. But there is a context to it beyond what you are saying is, I am just saying there is a context to it. The Congress opposed the Vivekananda Rock Memorial, but then they succumbed eventually. V.V. Giri came and inaugurated in 1970 when Indira ji relented. But before that, Congress ministers only opposed it. It's history. I'm not making this up. It's history. The Congress is today opposing Narendra Damodar Das Modi going to the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. Nobody is stopping anybody from going. And it's not a continuous live stream that you are watching, sir. Even Kedarnath was not a continuous live stream. The fact that you still remember those visuals, that is credit to your memory and the impact that Narendra Modi has. Shahzad Poonawalla, क्या campaign कर रहे हैं PM? ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. ध्यान कर रहे हैं, ध्यान करें. What is this? मतदान के बीच में why is he influencing? That's the opposition's grouse.
First of all, I hope that whether there is violation of MCC or not, debate code violation will not take place by Kamruzaman Chaudhary. So he'll let me and Anand Ranganathan complete our points before he interrupts us. Now, why you need to go back to history? Anand, just see the present of Congress. They are still against Vivekananda ji. Who opposes Bhagwa and says Bhagwa Atank? Vivekanand ji sar se lekar pair tak bhagwe mein lipt hai. Who opposes cultural nationalism? Who opposes self-respect and pride in our legacy and culture? And they say that no, why are you trying to rename Aurangzeb Road to APJ Abdul Kalam? So even today you see that how they are opposing Vivekanand, but that's not the debate. Let's come to the debate. Today the debate is that Prime Minister is doing meditation and these people are in frustration. Now look, what does Modi do? ये मोदी बोले तो ये गाली देते हैं, मोदी मौन रहे तो गाली देते हैं. बताइए कि मोदी करे तो करे क्या? एंड टुडे व्हाट इज द एमसीसी वायलेशन? आनंद जी आपके शो पे और दो आनंद है, तो दोनों आनंद को फैक्ट से बड़ा प्रेम है, तो मैं चाहता हूं कि फैक्चुअली मुझे बताए विच वर्स, विच पैरा, विच प्रोविजन ऑफ एमसीसी इज बीइंग वायलेटेड. ही इज नॉट गोइंग फॉर पॉलिटिकल कैंपेन, ही इज नॉट गोइंग फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ प्रचार प्रसार, ही इज नॉट इवन गोइंग टू स्पीक टू एनीबडी, नॉर हैज ही इनवाइटेड द मीडिया. मीडिया ना है, कैमरा मत जाओ. Parantu, today the question is that I'll tell you what is the MCC violation. On 26, Rahul Gandhi was the candidate in Wayanad. He was the candidate when the silent period has to be maintained. He was campaigning in Karnataka and entire media covered it. And he was campaigning and abusing BJP and NDA and Modi ji. And that was a violation of MCC. How come that violation was never reported by the Congress? Because this is not about violation, it is about Sanatan Virod. Sanatan Samapti, Hindu Ram Mandir ka virod karna, Ram Mandir ke को बेकार कहना, from there to saying now that the Sanatani cannot even go and do his आस्था का विषय which is तपस्या at a point where he has आस्था. अरे भाई आपकी आस्था है, आप चले जाओ जहां पर आपकी आस्था है. आपको बैंकॉक में तपस्या और मेडिटेट करना है तो वहां कैमरा ले जाओ. पर वैसे काम होते हैं जहां पर कैमरा लेकर नहीं जा सकते.
से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, उनको आस्था से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, उनको कैमरा कवरेज एंड टाइमिंग ऑफ द तपस्या से प्रॉब्लम है. जिस दिन कैंपेनिंग खत्म हुआ और जिस दिन मतदान होने वाला है उसके बीच में ये तपस्या क्यों कर रहे हैं? दैट्स द क्वेश्चन दैट्स बीइंग आस्क्ड.
Can I add 10 seconds?
मैं इसको बस
I'll come back to you. Let him complete and then I'll come to you, sir. Before we go to Dr. Ranganathan and Javed ji. Yes, Shehzad, please complete.
Kamru ji, before he comes in, when was the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha? It was on 22nd of January. No election model code of conduct had been applied. Yet there were these same parties which were saying कि प्रधानमंत्री वहां पर क्यों जा रहे हैं? प्रधानमंत्री को वहां पर नहीं जाना चाहिए. Isn't it true that when Prime Minister has gone on many occasions to various important places of Sanatan Sanskriti and Sanatan Kendras, that time they have opposed when there is no election. So it is not the timing. They have the issue with the entire issue of why he is going and expressing his thoughts and his processes like a Sanatani, because if this was not the problem, then they would not make statements like Sanatan samapt kar denge, Sanatan is dengue or malaria. And even when the the point of Chandrayaan 3 was named the Shiv Shakti point.
You don't understand all of this, sir.
Opposed by Congress party.
You just said PM bole to problem, nahi bole to problem. Nahi bole to picture speak 1,000 words. So nahi bole to zyada problem hai. That's what the opposition is saying. Kamruddin Chaudhary.
Just one line.
Yeah, very quickly.
Just one line.
Let Kamruddin ji speak and then I'll come to you.
Yeah, Anand, a small correction. My name is Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, not Kamruddin. Thank you.
Sorry, Kamrud Zaman Chaudhary.
Yeah.
I stand
corrected.
corrected. We all stand corrected.
Shehzad will bring eloquence of Narendra Modi and tell this and that the opposition is hitting him wherever he goes and all these things. But you tell me, when 20 जवान हमारे शहीद हुए पुलवामा में, when at that time where was the Prime Minister? Where was the Prime Minister? He was in a Corbett National Park, surrounded by hundreds of cameramen out there. Now, if Narendra Modi ji is so particular and so devoted to Swami Vivekananda, I'll just read one line what Swami ji said. For our own motherland.
I will allow you your
time out.
I will allow you your rebuttal. Let him complete.
No, it's a very important.
Yes, it is important. I agree. I will allow you your intervention, sir. Let him complete.
Yeah. I know Shehzad is getting spooked, but let me just finish this slide. For our own motherland, a junction of two great systems, Hinduism and Islam, Vedanta brain and Islam body, is the only hope. I see in my mind's eye future. Perfect India rising out of this chaos and strife, glorious and invincible with Vedanta brain and Islam body. That's the exact words of our great Swami Vivekananda.
Correct.
Whereas we have got the Prime Minister, I'm very, very sad.
Okay, now your 10 seconds are up, sir, and before Shehzad Poonawalla intervenes, sir, this line of Swami Vivekananda should have been read out to Muhammad Ali Jinnah. This line of Swami Vivekananda should have been read out to the then Chief Minister of the Bengal province, who called for a direct action day. This line of Swami Vivekananda should have been read out to those who conducted conducted the Mopla, perpetrated the Mopla riots. This line should have been read out to the likes of Sheikh Abdullah. This line should have been read out to the likes of those who batted for two constitutions under one nation and pushed for the separation of Jammu and Kashmir. This line should have been read out to those people who went ahead and voted and argued that Hindus and Muslims in India cannot live together, sir. Starting with those who are also teaching at the Aligarh Muslim University, where they stood out and pushed this two-nation theory. At that time, who forgot the teachings of Swami Vivekananda Kamru Chaudhary? Quite rich when you read it out today, sir, and you try to read it out to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's saying "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas." Sir, okay, sir. No. Please, when you read out such things, sir, you need to read it out to the right people, sir. To the right people. Now, Shehzad Poonawala.
Shehzad Poonawala. In the interest of fairness.
Shehzad Poonawala.
In the interest of fairness, and I
two
hope
speakers have not
Kamru
yet
will
spoken. We
listen
need to go to them after you.
Mr. Kamru. Exactly. Anand, you called Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary Kamruddin. He was very offended, and rightly so. Nobody should tolerate the defacement of their name. But here he has defaced facts. He said that when the Galwan incident happened, where 20 soldiers were martyred, Prime Minister was in Jim Corbett Park. That is not true. That was the occasion of Pulwama. So this man who is trying to come here and show that he's a patriot does not even know his basic facts. And this is the problem. That देखिए कमरू जी और कुछ कोट मत कीजिए, फतवा जारी हो जाएगा आपकी जमात से. अभी विवेकानंद जी का एक कोट तो आपने बोल दिया जो सूट करता है आपको, बाकी कोट बोलोगे तो आपकी जो जमात है वो आपको फतवा डाल के आपको इस्लाम से खारिज कर देगी. मेरा सवाल सिर्फ इतना है कि आप भी कैमरा बोलिए ना राहुल गांधी जहां तपस्या करने जाएंगे अभी अगले 2 दिन, वहां जहां पे भी उनकी तपस्या चल रही होगी जिनके साथ भी, वहां पर वो कैमरा लेकर जाए. कैमरा वर्दी नहीं है क्या उनकी तपस्या?
Okay, point made. Now, Dr. Ranganathan.
Before I come to the main topic, I just want to yet again, as I say, brevity is the soul of wit. Anand, why take 3 minutes when 30 seconds are enough? And here only 3 seconds I would require. Yes and no to Kamruji. Do you agree with Swami Vivekananda, whom you've called a great saint, a great soul, a great patriot, when he says that Hinduism is the mother of all religions? Yes or no?
Do you agree to the Supreme Court judgment? Hindutva is a way of life, Hinduism is a way of life, Islam is a way of life. Now, Anandji, your most...
He heard you out, Kamru Chaudhary, he heard you out. There's something called QED, sir, Quod Erat Demonstrandum. Yes, go ahead, please.
You are the boss.
Now let me come. Now, having sorted Kamruji out, my good friend, let me now come to the main thrust. Now,
okay, Anand, please don't interrupt him now, Kamruji. Please don't. Yes.
Kamruji, I did not interrupt you. I've been waiting for almost 20 minutes. Thank you. Anand, I thought that it's the heat that is making all that, all those people in Lutyens circle as perspire, but it is the meditation that is causing all the perspiration. But I don't blame them, because while Delhi is 52 degrees, Kanyakumari is 26, half. So, obviously they're getting envious of the Prime Minister, but hand on heart, they should take some succor, because right now Bangkok is also 26. So in 3 or 4 days, you have your option of, if you don't want to go to Kanyakumari, you can take a flight to Bangkok, which I'm sure many would be taking. But what are we discussing out here? Are we saying that the Prime Minister should never be clicked, should never be followed by cameras? For heaven's sake, why should Kamruji get jealous if Prime Minister has 30 cameras following him? He has 1 camera on him. The point I'm making out here is very simple. There are people from the opposition side who've gone to Babur's mausoleum and grave and meditated there. Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi. They have gone there, and I quote them. Some of them have said that I am in the midst of greatness. I am stunned at the Babur's grave. And all those 4 haven't even once visited till now, at least the living, Rahul Gandhi, Ram Janamsthan. This is the meditation that they do. So why begrudge them, each to his own? But the point I'm trying to make out here is, you're absolutely right. Who was the one who was actually against the making of this memorial? Who was the one who said that do not, Mr. President, do not go for the consecration of Somnath, because that endangers India in the sense that it would actually lead to Hindu revivalism? You have to see who is for the great Bharat civilization and who is against it. It is doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani. I don't need to spend more time on this, Anand. And through you, because I know Kamruji is not going to answer this, he's called Vivekananda Great. It was a simple yes and no question. Through you, I want an answer from him. Was Vivekananda ji, Swami Vivekananda correct when he said Hinduism is the mother of all religions? Agar himmat hai to bol do. Nahi himmat hai to nahi bolo.
Anand, you are the anchor, you are the boss. Can I reply? Permitting 10 seconds to me.
Yeah. Go ahead, and then Javed Ansari ji, uninterrupted 3 minutes to you after that. Yes.
Okay, I will just take 20 seconds, please. Anandji tried to establish the superiority of a particular religion over another, and I strongly object to it. Even Swami Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda's words, exact words. Let me read out one more phrase. We want to lead mankind to the place where there is neither the Vedas nor the Bible nor the Quran.
One minute.
This has to be done by harmonizing the Vedas, the Bible and the Quran. Remember, by harmonizing the Vedas, the Bible and the Quran, mankind ought to be taught that religions are but the varied expressions of the religion, which is oneness, so that each may choose that path that suits him best. That's the Guru, Swami Vivekananda's exact words.
Correct. So,
now
Kamru Chaudhary, again the same question. Again, Kamru Chaudhary, Sartan se juda should read this. Kamru Chaudhary, those who believe that my God is greater than your God and there is only one God should believe this, should read this. Those who say that these gods are all gone, those who go and try and go ahead and try and vilify the deities, try and throw chappals at them, and then go ahead and say only this should be followed. You need to tell them that. The fact of the matter is, whether you call it a way of life, what it a belief system, however you call it, sir, Hindutva is the mother of all of these thought processes and these philosophies. That's what it is, because it is inclusive. And that's the core essence of Swami Vivekananda's teachings, that we have to be Hindu at heart, or Hindu in our way of life, in our approach, if we need to practice an inclusive system of society. That's what it is, sir. So please don't preach to all those who are already practicing. The message needs to be sent elsewhere, where they are saying that the dominance of one, not the other. What happened with that taxi driver? What happened with the taxi driver in the US is example, sir, of the thought that needs to study the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Anyways, I'll park it there right now. Javed Ansari ji, thank you so much for your patience. Please go ahead. No one will interrupt him, please.
Anand, let me begin with a small protest. I was given to understand by your guest relations people that this evening's debate is about what Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had to say.
That's the next one, sir. That's the next one, sir. That's the next one,
sir.
We are debating that after this.
No. So I was told, and I was kept totally in the dark about this Vivekananda debate. As far as I am concerned, the Prime Minister has every right, just as I have and you have and everybody else, to go wherever he wants to go, to visit whichever cave he wants to visit, to meditate at whichever abode he wants to do. I guess what is disturbing the opposition is the fact that even once the curtain has come down on the campaigning, because of the blanket media coverage, it will be surrogate campaigning, and perhaps that's the only reason where they have a point they can complain about. Otherwise, where a Prime Minister goes, or where any individual goes to pray or rest or recuperate, it is nobody's business. He has every right, just as I have and just as you have. The only point is whether this is surrogate. This is surrogate campaign. Let's say with the Election Commission of India has to.
Javed ji, let me ask you this. Let's say that this is a certain amount of surrogate campaigning or gamesmanship, that is to try and find the grey area among the rules. But this is not the first time then the Prime Minister is doing it. He's done it in 2014 with the Pratapgarh meditation of Chhatrapati Shivaji, 2019 in Kedarnath. Does this stop anybody else from that? And haven't opposition leaders done the same too? Especially on the days when they have thought about a certain level of gamesmanship.
Anand, I don't think that's a valid argument. Just because an infringement has happened earlier, therefore it should keep repeating itself. That's not a valid argument. Earlier, and I've covered enough elections in 40 years that I've been in this profession. Earlier, this was not the case. It's only been introduced since 2014, 2019, and now. And what applies to the Prime Minister must also apply to all opposition leaders, to all political leaders. There should be, I mean, it's my personal view, I am sure the rest of you in the panel or most of you will disagree, is that there should be no campaigning, surrogate or otherwise.
But the argument here, counter-argument, Javed-ji, is that there is no campaigning because the Prime Minister is not wearing the election symbol. The Prime Minister is not uttering a single word. He is not speaking to anybody or addressing a public gathering. Yes, there is a visual representation of what is happening with the Prime Minister at the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. Does that stop others from doing the same? Cameras will follow Rahul Gandhi, cameras will follow Akhilesh Yadav, cameras follow Tejasvi Yadav. They have continued to do so right through the election. Shehzad Poonawalla is raising his hands. Yes, Shehzad.
You know, there is a biblical phrase which some of them might comprehend more than Sanatani phrases, that he who has not sinned must cast the first stone. Now, please tell me, I have given a specific example, not even a historical example, a relevant this election cycle example, that Rahul Gandhi was a candidate in Wayanad on 26th. He was supposed to maintain silence. He went and campaigned in next door Karnataka, and he made all kinds of statements and got all kinds of coverage. Those who are finding surrogate marketing by saying that the Prime Minister is going to some cave or Prime Minister is going here and there. By the way, the Prime Minister is only doing what his Astha wants him to do or permits him to do once he has got free from the campaign period, which he is entitled to. His freedom of religion and his freedom of speech and expression hasn't come to a standstill, even though you might want to put him in prison. But the fact of the matter is that today, if he has an expression, he has not invited the media. That is very, very bad. But if you go and wear a topi, even if you are not a Muslim, go for an iftar party and take 10,000 cameras with you, that is secularism ka sundar sangeet. Now, secondly, coming back to Mr. Kamruji just said harmonize Gita and Quran. Very good Gyan. Kamruji, then in that context, please tell me that if somebody says that there is only one God and no other God can be alike with that God, would you consider that statement contrary to Vivekananda, and would you say Vivekananda should prevail, not that statement? And idhar udhar mat bhago.
He won't answer.
Kamru Chaudhary, question was for you, sir.
Okay, because the question has to come through the anchor, I believe. That's why I was silent. When
अरे
Shehzad
फतवा जारी
raised
हो
this
जाएगा, बोलोगे कुछ तो
नहीं,
छोड़ दो.
नहीं, उनको
तो
बोलने
देखो,
दीजिए ना.
शहजाद भाई, सूर्य फतिया तो आता नहीं है, ढंगी मुसलमान बन के फिरते हो और ऊपर से हमारा ऊपर में फतवा जारी करोगे.
आप वो मत, आप मेरी चिंता मत करो. आप पढ़ो.
Now, this is where I'm going to request all. I am going to request all our panelists. I am going to humbly request all our panelists that nobody makes personal jibes or personal comment at anybody. There was a line that is being drawn, and I think all of us should draw that line. He was only saying that please be careful what you say, Kamru Chaudhary, because there are fanatics who may issue a fatwa. He was not issuing any fatwa at you or an opinion on you. So that was the case.
He was gaslighting. That means he was gaslighting.
No, he was not gaslighting, but that's the reality, sir. That's the reality. That's the reality. Sir, those who said Sir Tan Se Juda to Nupur Sharma, they should be the ones reading Swami Vivekananda's teachings. Those who went ahead and beheaded people in Udaipur, are they reading Swami Vivekananda's teachings? Are we going out and saying these lines there? Those who are going out and using the mimbar to issue political statements when that is again haram and that is not allowed, that is biddat. What is said to them? So what action is taken against them? So, sir, we'll get into a lot of areas which will be touchy when we pick and choose, sir. So that's why we should not. So that's why I'm saying, let's park this debate here. Let's park this debate here. We've put out the facts. There is a connection ideological. There is a connection spiritual. There is a connection philosophical, and of course there is a connection political to this entire trip of the Prime Minister. Because from the 60s onwards till date, there has been a connection with the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. And he has been one of those who was part of that entire fight and entire drive to raise funds via Jan Bhagidari to build this rock memorial. So that's also chronicled in history. We're going to park this debate here. Thank you very much to our viewers for staying with us through debate 1. Debate number 2, Javed Ansari, Shehzad Poonawalla, Kamru Chaudhary and Dr. Ranganathan stay on. It's the rebuttal to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's charge that's come from former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. Here on the CNN News 18 Federal Bank Primetime Studios, Modi versus Manmohan on the appeasement debate. Does the letter repel the allegation, the appeasement allegation, ably? Stay with us.
This time, I really expect changes because as of you can see that in our town, there's a lot of unemployment. So I want change in it so we can be employed.
I voted for ANC and I expect any changes, but with the current situation in our town, I'm more satisfied. That's why I voted for this party, who cares for its people, who's always there when we need them.
And the experience of voting, it was quite nice, knowing that you can vote and you can speak up.
What changed after phase one was Prime Minister Narendra Modi questioning not just the Congress manifesto but also the overt appeasement of the Muslims by the Congress party as a strategy, as a matter of policy. He had accused former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh of having said that Muslims have the first right to the wealth and the resources of the country. The former PM, in a veiled reference to the speech, said that he never distinguished one community from another. This letter, addressed to the citizens ahead of the last phase of the Lok Sabha elections, especially directed at also the voters in Punjab, Dr. Manmohan Singh launched a series of attacks at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, accusing him of using hateful and unparliamentary terms. He said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reduced the dignity of the PMO and that wrong and false statements have been given against him. Dr. Manmohan Singh, in his clarification, said he never distinguished one community from another. But before we get into the debate, let's first listen into what Dr. Manmohan Singh said in 2006, which he underlined or repeated later on in 2009.
We need to be revitalized. We will have to devise innovative plans to ensure that minorities, particularly the Muslim minority, are empowered to share equitably in the fruits of development. They must have the first claim on our resources.
Our guests stay on with us. Javed Ansari ji, let's start with you.
Yeah, what's the question?
The question is very clear. Is Prime Minister Narendra Modi right in accusing, or is Dr. Manmohan Singh right when he says, no, I never distinguished one community from the other or one section of Indians from the other?
Look, the very evening or next morning, if memory serves me right, when this statement was issued by Dr. Manmohan Singh, his office put out a clarification saying that this is not what he meant. This is not, he didn't mean Muslims alone, but the entire class of underprivileged that he had underlined or spoken of earlier. The BJP even then and now continues to say that no, by them he meant only Muslims. Both sides have been protesting, have been pressing forward with their case. Now it depends on what you read into this. One Prime Minister says that he was trying to appease, the one who made the statements vehemently denies, protesters and notes vehemently denies. He did it then, within hours of that statement. He has done it even today.
But then the accusation is that subsequent years, when he was questioned again at a press conference, he underlined the statement. You say it was a denial, but he underlined the statement. That's the allegation that comes through, Javed Ansari.
It is. No, I am not saying that. It's not just me who's saying it's a denial. It's there in black and white. There is a press statement issued by the government of that time. So it's not a figment of my imagination. It's something that he had put out.
You are saying that the very next day there was a clarification, but a few years down the line there was a press conference where Dr. Manmohan Singh underlined what he had said in 2006. That's the allegation made by the BJP. Shehzad is putting his hands up. Yes, Shehzad.
Let's go beyond that one statement which was reiterated in 2009. By the way, he had said particularly Muslims, but let's go beyond that and let's examine the other actions of Mr. Manmohan Singh. Here is action number 1, Rangnath Mishra Committee report, where very clearly it is said that on the basis of religion, a 6% quota must be carved out for the Muslims from the OBC quota. It goes on further to say that Muslims should be given 15% out of the central government quota of SC, ST, OBC's jobs. And it also says that ST list, Muslims should be included in that list. Secondly, here is a report of the Telegraph, and the Congress loves the Telegraph newspaper. This is dated in 2011, 24th of November. And I don't think they are liars at the Telegraph. I think Javed Ansari will be able to tell us better. The UP had almost prepared a cabinet bill to actually push for quota on Muslim reservation basis, and in fact it had reached the cabinet as well. But forget that, I'll quote you a statement of Salman Khurshid, who was the then law minister. During the UP elections, he says, and I quote, 9% quota will be given to Muslims from the 27%, it's in our manifesto. Apart from that, you have Mr. Ram Gopal Yadav in 2012, who pushed a bill in parliament that constitutional amendment should be made to give Muslims reservation. All of this is actually contrary to the scheme that has been devised by the constitution makers and by Baba Sahib Ambedkar. to give religion-based reservation, and B, to cut it out of the SC, ST, OBC quota. And lastly, here is a statement of Virappa Moily, who is also a colleague of Mr. Manmohan Singh, who said, I was the one who in Karnataka gave the Muslim reservation, where you remember that the entire Muslim community was put into the OBC category overnight, and recently it was done by the Bengal government, which was struck down by the Bengal High Court. So I think we have enough evidence to say that the UPA government, led by Manmohan Singh, was actually working on an agenda of Muslim first. So there's incontrovertible proof for that. Secondly, I am glad that after 10 years, the Congress has permitted Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to speak up for Punjab and Punjabiyat, but I just have 2 or 3 questions. Where was he speaking up for Punjab and Punjabiyat when Kartarpur corridor was given away and was never taken back, even when he had an opportunity in 71? Why was Kartarpur corridor never made, and why were the Sikhs forced to look at Kartarpur Sahib from a binoculars? Why wasn't Veer Bal Divas commemorated earlier, the huge the sacrifice made by the Sahibzadas? Why wasn't FCRA clearance given to Harminder Sahib before? Why wasn't Rahul Gandhi apologizing for Operation Blue Star? These are questions that Punjabiyat is asking of Manmohan Singh now that he has spoken up after so many years.
Okay, Kamru Chaudhary had raised his hand initially. Yes, Kamru Chaudhary.
No, that's a bucket of lies that Shahzad has just now read out in front of you regarding the Ranganathan Commission report. I believe his piecemeal WhatsApp University forwards he reads out every evening on the television channels. You must know, Mr. Shahzad, when Justice Ranganathan Commission report was tabled on the Parliament, on the floor of the Parliament, it suggested specifically 14% reservation for minorities, not for Muslims, and it said particularly 10% shall be carved out for Muslims only. He said that, but it was not that 15% that you are quoting out here. Wait, let me finish. When the report was tabled on the floor of the Parliament, the government did not go and implement it. Rather, it wanted to implement a Equal Opportunities Commission. 2014, it was suggested and mooted. Now come to 2022. In Supreme Court, the government of India, BJP government, submitted an affidavit and said clearly it does not go for the Ranganathan Commission report. It will not accept it. And when the Supreme Court said, what is the next step? The government set up a Subramaniam commission and asked it whether the SC, STs who have changed their religion from Hinduism can get the benefit of reservation. Now my question here is that if the entire reservation is not based on religion, why somebody who has changed his religion denied the benefits of reservation once he changes the religion? That's the point number 1. Point number 2, Congress party always wanted to uplift the minorities, particularly the downtrodden. Even subsequent reports like the Ranganathan Mishra report also said the condition of Muslims, economic and social conditions, are much lower than that of the scheduled tribe in the country. That's the basic fact out here. Now, if somebody or some government implements schemes which is targeted towards the development of a particular community, what's wrong in that? We are not, even in Bengal also you see, the OBC reservation was not deducted from the present OBC reservation. A 10% separate quota was created during the left-hand government, out of which OBC categories were there. But what Mamata Banerjee faltered out here was, she did it very much through an executive order, not following the norms of the 93 SC/ST Act Commission.
Right.
So there lies the problem. But I believe after the elections, we are going to challenge the High Court order and it's going to be struck down.
Okay,
because it
rebuttal from Shahzad Poonawalla. Yes, Shahzad Poonawalla, and then Dr. Ranganathan coming to you.
I quote Salman Khurshid. The Sachar Committee and Rangnath Mishra Commission have recommended 8.5% quota for Muslims. What wrong is it if I talk about 9% reservation for them? Quote unquote, Salman Khurshid, quoted in NDTV January 11, 2012. I don't speak off my hat. Secondly, I am quoting now para 331 and para 332 of the Bengal High Court order. The court is of the view that the 77 classes of Muslims that has been judged as backward is an affront to the Muslim community. The Muslim community is being treated as a commodity for political ends. The 77 classes as OBCs and their inclusion is being treated as a vote bank. Such reservation is therefore an affront to democracy and constitution of India as a whole. Both are quoted statements, one from the judgment. And if anybody tries to fool you that Rangnath Mishra committee report was about minorities and not about Muslims, I think that person is perhaps he is misled, or he's purposely trying to mislead the audiences of CNN. I don't want to use stronger adjectives.
Right. Okay. Dr. Ranganathan, before I come across to you, sir, for your point, allow me please 60 seconds to what Kamru Chaudhary just now said. if somebody enjoyed a SC/ST quota or was an SC/ST, if they change their religion, why should they not continue to draw the benefits as SC/ST? Sir, the whole bedrock of this conversion game of come to Islam or come to Christianity, the Abrahamic religions, is that we treat everyone equally. There is no casteism or there is no classism there. So if you are saying that, all right, you change your religion but you still continue to remain a scheduled caste, then say it openly that even Islam in India is very, very casteist. Christianity is also casteist. So the caste game is not a moniker that should be labelled only on the Hindu way of living here in the country. So then the whole game, sir, either you are casteist or you are not. Then don't turn around and say that Islam treats everyone equally, because you are saying that an SC/ST, even if they convert, if they change their religion, should continue to draw the benefit. So sir, you tell me what does the game, what is the classic conversion game in our country that's being played by the conversionists, the Abrahamic groups? They are saying that you are being discriminated against because you are a Sanatani. In Hinduism में casteism है, Islam में casteism नहीं है, Christianity में casteism. But you are saying उसको भी SC/ST दो. Let him continue to be a SC/ST. That's why you continue to remain a Dalit even when you are a Christian. You change to Christianity but you remain a Dalit Christian. That's what you are saying. You change to Christianity, you change to Islam, you remain a Dalit Muslim. So that means you are also casteist. When I say you, Islam is also casteist, Christianity is also casteist. So then why blame it only on Hinduism?
Why should the classification of reservation be based on religion?
Class or caste में फर्क है sir. SC/ST is scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. You said SC/ST. OBC is backward classes. Classes may be different, sir. And class and caste are used very loosely one against the other. But SC/ST, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. And you said that SC/ST, if they change their religion, should continue to get their quota. No, sir, they should not. Because they are being made to change their religion only on the grounds that they will be treated equally. The discrimination will not be there. No, sir, don't play a double game. This is a dangerous double game that's being played. Dr. Ranganathan. No, sir, Dr. Ranganathan. No, sir. Sir, either then you say that in our country reservation and quota should be only on socio-economic classification, EWS only. No caste, no community, no religion, nothing. Can you say that? You won't say that. Dr. Ranganathan.
Thank you, Anand. I hope I would be given the courtesy of a couple of minutes, especially from Kamruji, because I have been listening very patiently to him. First of all, he was the one who castigated you for saying that you called him Kamruddin, and he said, look, my name is Kamru Zaman, rightly so. But he himself is calling Justice Ranganath as Justice Ranganathan. मतलब मैं इनके सपनों में आना शुरू हो गया हूं. जैसे there is an washed out चौथी फेल academic who's saying कि in my dreams I saw EVMs being hacked. अब कमरू जी मुझे अपने सपनों में ला रहे हैं. वो जस्टिस रंगनाथ हैं, जस्टिस रंगनाथन नहीं है. Number one. Number two. Okay. Now Kamru ji, please don't interrupt. Thank you. Now, he is parroting that same washed out Kapil Sibbal's line that Muslims are worse off than Dalits and SC/STs. That's totally wrong. And my good friend Harsh Madhusudan has completely demolished that data through the National Health Survey that shows Muslims are better off than SCs and ST. So get your facts right. Number three, now let me come to the thrust of the topic. The problem is, जब मेरी टर्न लास्ट में आती है, I have to demolish all the fake narrative, तो chance नहीं मिलता. But here I want to take a couple of minutes because Dr. Manmohan Singh has said something very serious and it must be rebutted and he must be exposed. He must be. I'm absolutely fed up of all this political correctness that goes on and the same line, Congressy line being parroted decade upon decade. Was the dignity of the PMO raised sky high when you overturned the Supreme Court Shah Bano judgment and divided the community, Dr. Manmohan Singh and the Congressies? I want to ask, was the dignity of the PMO raised sky high when you brought in the blatantly discriminatory Waqf Act? Was it raised sky high when you almost passed the communal violence bill, whereby any crime perpetrated during a communal riot would have been thrust upon the majority, i.e. Hindus? Is this how you raise the dignity of the PMO? Was the dignity of the PMO raised sky high when you perpetrated and passed the Places of Worship Act that forbids 1 billion Hindus for legitimately going to the court to ask to reclaim their places of worship? Kya bol rahe ho? What is worse than so-called hate speech? Is this not worse? So, Mr. Manmohan Singh, you and your party have been the criminals, quote unquote, metaphorically or otherwise, in perpetrating discriminatory, constitutionally legalized policies against 1 billion people. So don't talk about the dignity of PMO. Get it?
Can I reply, Anand?
No, 1 minute, sir. There's just another. There is a National Commission for Minorities which is against the fundamental directive principles and the ethos of our constitution that was set up under the Congress government, under the Prime Ministership of Dr. Manmohan Singh. That National Commission for Minorities, how many cases?
Only on
Sir,
Hindu-run schools to give reservations to EWS.
And not just that, RTE was imposed only, the RTE applied only to Hindu-run schools or Hindu schools. It did not run to any of the madrasas or the Christian missionary-run schools. So that is again, how did that raise the dignity of the PMO? And sir, 1984 riots, the Sikhs, they are not minorities in this country. The National Commission for Minorities, how many cases did it pick up, sir, and how many convictions did it give, and where did they serve justice? So did that uphold the dignity of the PMO, sir? Very, very, very rich when you try and come out and give out lectures, sir, but you don't color yourself in glory with your own actions. That's the reality, sir, and this dangerous game I'll keep calling out, sir. If you are SC, ST, and if you are a Hindu, you are discriminated. But you are a Dalit Muslim, a Dalit Sikh, then you are no and you are a Dalit Christian, there is no discrimination. That's not casteism. Sir, either you discriminate or you don't. Either you are casteless or you are. Don't play this double game there. Say that Muslims should get an SC/ST quota, but Muslims are the conversion game should go on because Hinduism is casteist and nobody else is. And I'll keep calling this out, sir, every time. And OBCs are socio-economic classifications, sir. Why should it be based on religion? It should be on socio-economic classification. It should be on social. Shehzad Poonawala and then Kamru Chaudhary.
No, I just want to ask, was the dignity of the PMO upheld when a person who was not in the cabinet went and tore a ordinance which the cabinet had passed? Was that upholding the dignity? And finally, the question is that today the fact of the matter is that Manmohan Singh government, the way it was functioning at the behest of Sonia Gandhi calling the shots and putting herself constitutionally in a position where she was dictating to PMO what should be done. I think that was the worst time that one could have seen for the PMO. So I think today the PMO is being run by the same person who's been elected as the Prime Minister. That is the biggest respect for the position of PMO, and the biggest tragedy was at one point of time the unelected, unaccountable person was running and calling the shots at PMO. So Kamruji, at least there you will concede that point.
No, the NAC, sir, did it uphold the dignity of the PMO, sir? Did the NAC uphold the dignity of the PMO?
Anand, can I have that much courtesy to reply to your questions and queries out here? All three of you are coming with a biased agenda in front of the national television.
Tell me one aspect which has not been factually based, sir. Was the NAC not created outside the PMO, sir? Outside the PMO's purview? Was the UPA chairperson not the person who was sitting, who was the chair of the NAC? What was the NAC doing outside the purview of the PMO, sir? Please tell me. Was the National Commission for Minorities, was it enshrined in our constitution, or is it void ab initio of the fundamental principles of our, or the ethos of our constitution? Did the National Commission of Minorities pick up any cases of the Sikhs, sir? Did they pick up the case of the 1984 riots, and did they try and give convictions? What did it do, sir, even though it is against the principles of the constitution? If you are SC, ST, then is there casteism in Islam or not? Is there casteism in Christianity or not? Are the Abrahamic groups not running the conversion game by saying that we treat everyone equally? You are being differentiated, discriminated only in Hinduism. Tell me, sir, what is factually incorrect, sir? What is bluster, sir? What is it?
Anand, first and foremost, the logic that you are giving out here, that the Congress party had always conspired against a majority religion in India. But
sir, the Shaban, why was the Shabano ordinance overturned, sir? Shabano judgment overturned, sir.
You have got a correlation with the...
Why was the Shabano judgment overturned, sir?
You have got the... If Shabano judgment was overturned...
Why was it overturned, sir?
By the ordinance, so also the election commission bill was also overturned by the...
Why was it...
Judgment was overturned by Narendra Modi government also.
Sir, no, sir. The election commission decision, no, sir. The Supreme Court had said till the time there is an act passed by Parliament, we will do, it will go by our judgment. The moment an act is passed in Parliament, then the Parliament, the executive will prevail. That's different. That's different from a Supreme Court judgment being overturned with an ordinance, sir. Sir, don't compare apples to oranges. You are the one who's now trying to obfuscate facts right now, sir. I will call you out on that, Mr. Kamru Chaudhary. Because, sir, when a Supreme Court, sir, who declared, who sacked all the judges of the Supreme Court and imposed a national emergency, sir? Who did it? A BJP leader, an NDA leader, or a Congress leader, sir? And why? Was that upholding the dignity of the PMO then? dignity of democracy then? Who inserted the word socialist and secular forcibly when democracy was in jail in 1976 when the nation was in emergency? Altered the very preamble of our constitution against the wishes of our founding fathers. Did that uphold the dignity of the PMO then, sir?
Anand, take it to your heart.
Tell me one statement which is not factual, sir.
India is a secular and a socialist.
No, sir. It is a sovereign democratic republic. That's the original preamble, sir, as our founding fathers envisioned. Secular and socialist were forcibly inserted in 1976 when this country was in emergency. Don't obfuscate and revise facts, sir. Revisionism is dangerous, sir. I will not allow you to do it.
You do not believe in
I have to wind up on that. I believe in the original constitution where Ram Rajya was envisioned. Ram adorned the constitution. So did Buddha. So did Hanuman. That's the original constitution, sir, where the pictures were also erased later on. Who did that, and did that uphold the dignity of the PMO? Please answer that. Have to wind up on that note. Thank you, sir. Have to wind up on that note.
Co-powered by.
I voted for the EFF, and that's because I need fresh minds in Parliament, a fresh way of thinking, and the change that I would like to see is basically moving forward. I feel like the current government is quite slow in terms of implementing certain things.
I think that it's a privilege for us to be voting today as opposed to in the past where our forefathers weren't allowed to vote.
I know Julius Malema very well because I grew him up. So I'm very certain that he's the only one that can make it, because we've been talking about this all along. Every time while he's here at home, we sit down, we talk, so I can understand very well that my sister's son is going to lead this country very well. Everybody will be quite happy.
This is CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio.
Hello, welcome to Brass Tacks. We're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio. It's finally over, the long, arduous, grueling campaign over 85 days from the 16th of March to today, the 30th of May, when the campaign has finally ended. And this is what it boils down to. All right, so this is what this election boils down to. There are 5 factors that are critical at play which will decide the mandate in this Lok Sabha fight. These 5 factors will be the difference between victory